be strong in this time, son. I'm a survivor. I will survive. I will survive. And I'm a firm believer. We'll forever shine just to stay alive. That simple means it. Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can hold me stick. I will not allow negativity. Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can. Nobody can. Everybody show me some strength. No weakness. Show me a lion. Strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. Strength. No weakness. Show me a lion. Everybody strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. Not when you're old. Your enemies, they must tremble. Your enemies, they must tremble. Yo, not when you're old. Everything has to humble. Everything has to humble. I'm a go-getter. I just go hard.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
You want a hand sanitizer to do 3 things: kill germs, be gentle, and to go where you go. You can get all of that in our hand sanitizer. Hard on germs, gentle on hands, affordable. Remember, hand sanitizers contain alcohol. Keep away from heat and flames and avoid contact with eyes. Available at retailers island-wide.
You gotta be firm in this time, son. You gotta be strong in this time, son. I'm a survivor. I will survive. I will survive.
Ride along, ride along. Welcome to the ride. Welcome to the ride. Welcome to Monday. Yeah. How are you doing, riders? All the riders. Welcome to the ride. Elisa, how you doing? Welcome to the ride. How you doing? As you come in, share up the thing. Samantha Dixon. Let me see. Let me go to the first. Let me see who's the first person to make it here. Chrissy Blackett. Look how long I ain't see my friend Chrissy Blackett. Chrissy, just so you drop me like a full bus. Chrissy, where you been? Elisa, how you doing? Good night. As you come in, guys, share the thing. Who else? Guys, as you come in, share the thing and say, I share. As you come and share the program and say, I share. Good night to you. How you doing? Good night to Samantha. I said Samantha already. Samantha get to wake up in one night. Elisa, how you doing? Big up yourself. Happy holidays to everyone. All the best for 2021. Happy holidays, guys. It's just a few days after Christmas, Boxing Day. And I hope you guys doing well. And we gave you guys enough time to rest, right? We gave you guys enough time to rest. So when you come, like today, you're supposed to come out with vigor. You guys supposed to come and say, well, like you missed me or something. Because for about 4 days, all you don't see me. So I'll have to come out with more, you know? Yeah, give me some more. So everybody share the program and say, I share. Everybody just share the program quick. Before I big anybody else up, I want to see I share. Hey, Kevin Maras, how are you doing? Big up yourself. Thank you so much for locking it down. I'm trying to start a watch party on my page. Let me do that right now. I want everybody to share. I find all your else skimpy on the share in these days. A happy holidays to you. Vintris, how are you doing? Happy holidays to you. June, thank you so much, June. I appreciate you. So I'm talking about, June. Share it up and say, I share. And if you're bad, start a watch party. That's what I'm doing right now. Guys, we have a program for you today. I really want everybody to take it in. And I will explain why. I'm going to explain why I need everybody to really take in this program here today. It's very important. Very, very important. Very, very important. Lacey J, watching from her bedroom. Guys, today's program is important because we have another instance here of a young lady sharing her story. And it is not the first time we heard a story like this, but this one is quite different. This one is quite different. For this whole holiday season, right? Believe it or not, for this whole holiday season, I spent the better part of my Christmas reading messages from viewers, all of whom went into quarantine, and a lot of them want to talk about their experiences. Seriously, it's like every day consistently I was getting messages. So we said, you know what, today, whatever else we had planned, whatever else we had planned, we had to change plans. It's important. It's freaking important. And the reason why this story, as I was telling you, is a little bit different. You know, last week or so, we did a story with an employee at Sandals, chef, where his story was quite the reverse, right? Where he was told that he was positive, only to find out later that he's negative. And the trauma that one goes through. Now, this one is a little bit different. This young lady traveled from the United States, went into Grenada. She's currently in quarantine going on 9 days. Yeah, 9 days. 9 days in quarantine so far. 9. Yeah, 9. She was tested about 5 times in total. Negative. She came in with a negative PCR, a negative test, right? She stayed at a quarantine facility. And you know, if you break quarantine, which we don't promote at all, it's $10,000. She don't want to pay that. So she stayed in quarantine. She says she forgot how the sunlight look, really and truly. She didn't have a balcony. She didn't even know what sun looked like. After 9 days, that happens, right? Only to find out today, after receiving a call, that for some reason, after being in quarantine, not going anywhere, that for some reason now, she's positive. How could this happen? This is crazy, right? She's going to tell us a story here right now. Rena, how are you doing? Big up yourself. Before I introduce my next guest, Andrea, I want to tell you guys that this program is brought to you with the kind compliments of Riders headphones. See, I'm wearing my Riders right now. This is Riders. This program segment is brought to you by Riders. Get your Riders right now at ridersong.com. That's RYDERS song.com. RYDERS, powering us up. Get your Riders right now. Earphones, really cool. All right, let me bring in my next guest. It's crazy. Also, for the people who was commenting before we start the program, people are saying, well, why does people travel around this time? Why you even go? Why you choose now to go back home? Everybody have their different emergencies and different reasons, right? And I hope after this program here today, everyone sees things a little bit differently. All right, let me introduce my next guest. As I said, my next guest is currently in quarantine going on 9 days. 9 days in quarantine. And was just told today that she is COVID-19 positive. No symptoms whatsoever. Andrea W., welcome to the ride. How are you doing today, Andrea?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I probably am better than you. At this moment.
Yes, you are. You are free.
Andrea, I know you're smiling, but you know, when you contacted me today, you know, you said that your heart was almost down in your toe. That was shortly after you got the news. Tell us about your experience, Andrea. Tell us about your experience. What really happened?
I mean, after arrival upon the airport, like we spoke prior to all the protocols that I feel like they said that they were doing when you exit the aircraft, that some of those things never really happened. Let me speak past space to leaving the airport, assigned a taxi,
before we get it, sorry to cut you.
Interactions.
But when you left the United States, right? Did you
Mhm.
check all the different do all the different checks as required by the Ministry of Health, having a negative PCR test done in a certain period of time, have your certificate? Did you do all the things that was prerequisite by the Ministry of Health?
I have done all those things. Get the certificate of entry, the negative PCR within the 3 days that is required to traveling to Grenada. If you don't have that, as a matter of fact, you cannot board the
Right.
aircraft. You can't get past check-in. So that is a must. Caps on all that. So I've had all those things. And prior to that, I've been testing myself because if the outbreak is as serious as they say, I need to know, so I can be quarantined from people and to take the necessary measures to get myself healthy again and not have COVID take me out. So I have been testing
When you
myself
test
at least
yourself,
5 times.
you have your own test kits.
No, going to one of the first institutions that I used was Care First. The
Okay.
second one that I used was John Hopkins University, which I got
Okay.
a fast turnaround with. And
Okay.
there were other institutions that I used. I didn't go to any like small urgent care that was unfamiliar to me. I use major institutions that I'm familiar with because I want accountability at the same time. If something was to go wrong in this whole process. Oh, I've been tested all these, like I said, 5 times. Upon arrival in Grenada, I expect to be tested at some point.
Right.
I got tested on Christmas Eve. I don't count that day
Right. So did you get
because,
tested? Did you get tested at the airport after you came in with your negative
yeah,
PCR test? Did you get tested at the
no.
airport? So when you got at
If
the
you know,
airport, when you got at the airport, what was told to you?
so we exited aircraft, then we
Right.
proceeded to the terminal. When we proceed to the terminal, we are assigned a number, then we are to be directed to a sitting area. Well, we're supposed to be 6 feet from each other. We're not 6 feet from each other because if I can reach to the person in front of me, I'm arms length and touch them, I'm not 6 feet from you. If I can reach to the person at the back of me and touch them, I'm not 6 feet. Six
Right.
feet mean that there needs to be an empty space in between. As per protocol, that hasn't happened. So the only thing that is 6 feet from me at this point that I'm thinking is across the aisle. And then they give us a form a piece of paper to fill out some information on, and then you sit there and you wait for your number to be called. When your number is to be called, you go stand up on a line to go to the Ministry of Health.
Right.
Well, the first time they called us, the first set of numbers 1 to 10. There was a problem there for me because no social distancing cannot happen with 10 people in a small space from the desk of Ministry of Health and to accommodate in the area that what people had to stand along with staff in that. So when I got up there, then I realized really what was going on. You proceed to the Ministry of Health desk, then they look over the information, which is your certificate of entry, your negative PCR test, and then they clear you. I guess assuming clearing you to go on to the next stage. If you are doing home quarantine, you go to the right. If you are
Right.
doing the government approved facility, then you go to the left and proceed to immigration. Another thought that I saw was when with the people that were qualified with the home quarantine, I want to say at least 5 to 6 people were standing there. And nobody was social distancing because they were just chitter chattering, and
Okay.
nobody said that or interjected that they should at least be 6 feet apart from each other, nothing of that sort.
Okay.
Then I
So
proceeded to immigration.
hold on a second. Hold on a second. I want to take it. I want to take it very precise and slow, so we don't miss
Mhm,
anyone in terms of the chronological order of how everything proceeded. So you came in. You had a negative PCR test, of course. You had everything
mhm,
as required by the Ministry of Health, of course. You were not applying
mhm.
for home quarantine, so you didn't go to that
Nope.
line. You were applying. You went and you stayed in the government approved facility, and you got approved
Mhm,
for that one. You were cleared. Everything was good.
mhm,
You observed that there was no social distancing. Okay, understood.
mhm,
That would have happened, but you had no indication. All the tests everything that was done at this point in time. You did not have COVID. You didn't come in with COVID, and as far as you know, you were taking all the precautions possible to don't pass.
Absolutely.
Right. So after
Absolutely.
you was cleared by the Ministry of Health, where did you go after that point?
To immigration.
Right.
Towards immigration, along the way to immigration, there's a desk that took the form that we filled out earlier on in the lounge area. And then I'm assigned a ticket. She said that is to give the taxi stand.
Okay.
Then you go to immigration. Then you go on to get your luggage. Then you proceed to customs. After customs clear you, you go out, you give them the ticket. Then they assign a car to you. When you assign the car, he takes you. I was hungry, so I was just like, "Are you allowed to stop and get something to eat?" And he said, "No, we cannot because a lot of drivers have gotten fined for that." I wasn't aware of that process, so I'm like, "Okay, no problem. Just let's go to the facility." When I got to the facility and I realized what was going on, I asked my driver, "Can you please go get me something to eat? I don't care what it is," which cost me $80. I'm not complaining about the funds. I just wanted to eat at this point because the airlines
Right.
are not giving you anything.
Right.
Um, and I have the only interaction that I've had is with the security. They are taking this COVID thing seriously where I'm at. Sanitization. I think I must have stepped too close to the young lady because I couldn't hear her when she was speaking to me because of the mask, and she backed up. So
Okay.
I was respectful of that, and literally they put my stuff to my room. I have been in my room up
Right.
until they called me to come out on Christmas Eve
Right.
to get tested.
Pause there. Pause there. So leaving the airport, getting into the taxi, you never stepped out of that bubble. The taxi driver, of course, took all the precautionary measures.
Mhm.
Again, you came in with a negative COVID test, and you also told me earlier, which is important to note, that the plane didn't have a lot of people on it. You had your own section at the back of the plane where so
Mhm.
you didn't mingle. Nothing happened like that. So you was in your bubble for the whole time. You left and you went into your room. Did you have any interaction? Any friends? Anybody come over, bring you stuff? Any parties? Any little parties?
My
Anything?
family and friends have been coming through for me. And luckily, where I am, I have a balcony that I can step out. If they're outside, I can see them. And that's the only interaction as far as seeing people and interacting with people besides the security, bringing my stuff to the door. They knock on my door, they put it down, and then I come out to get it and come back in my room. And that's it. Besides that, the only time I had ventured outside of my room was to go and get my COVID test, which was Christmas Eve around 8 p.m.
Right. Okay. Tell us
And
about that. Tell us about getting your COVID test. Uh,
um, so in my room,
how was it arranged? How was it arranged? Did you had to call or did they come in? How was the test arranged for you to come and get it? For the
um, so earlier on that day, because I know, Christmas Eve is the day that we're going to be tested. I'm thinking maybe an earlier part of the day, maybe after lunch, 2, 3 o'clock. At that point, nothing. 6 o'clock come, nothing. So I gave up all hopes. At this point, the security that is on duty, he leaves at 7. So I don't know who's out there at nighttime. So I just gave up all hopes of that. And lo and behold, I heard my dog knock, and they said, well, the nurse is here to give you a COVID test. I said, okay. They
right.
said, come on down. I go downstairs and there's an area in the back of the building where she has her station set up.
Mm-hmm.
And the two guards is with you down there. They're making sure that you ain't getting real close to nobody or her until it is said so. So you
Right.
stand there, you wait. I didn't realize that, because I can't see around the corner from where I was standing, that there was actually somebody in the chair. And so they was like, no, you can't go yet. So finally, this lady, she got up. It was a Caucasian woman, got up and they escorted back to her room. And then the other security standing there with me. And then they told me, you can go ahead now. At this point, the chair is not sanitized.
Right.
The only thing that I saw was sanitized or any kind of cleanliness taking place was a change of gloves. That was it.
Right.
And that's the nurse changing her gloves. I got my test done. Got up. I was escorted back again to my room, and here I've been. Waiting.
Right.
And this morning,
Now,
we tried to communicate.
before we get to this morning, the nurse that was taking the test, how was she attired? Was she, mask up and
She
everything?
she was masked up. She had a face shield on. She had, I want to say, some type of plastic covering on her, so she was
Right.
fully protected.
She was fully protected.
So yes,
And did
she
you
was fully
come in
protected.
contact with anybody else? I'm trying to see where it was possible that you came out of that bubble. Did you get in
I
contact with anybody else within that time from the nurse and heading back to your room?
Not one single soul.
Right. Okay. All right. All right.
I don't know
So
if I have a twin inside of here that I'm quarantined with or not, because I'm quarantining alone.
right. How did you eat? Who brought you food?
So my family and friends have been bringing stuff to me, like maybe every day or I would say every other day at this point. They just make sure I saw, because I don't want to burden them also with coming here every day,
Right.
just to make sure I have basic necessities to eat and just kind of get through this process.
Okay.
So my family and friends have been good about that.
Okay. And the procedure is what, they drop it somewhere and then you go get it? Did you mingle?
So they are not allowed past where the security point is, where I checked in, and then the security, he brings it to you, and
Okay.
then he knocks on your door, put it down, then you come out, pick it up, and then you come back inside of your room. That is that's the only contact. There's really no contact because it's contactless at this point.
Right. Okay.
So there's no contact at all.
Okay.
Um, I can't elaborate more than that because that's all it is to that.
Right. So there's no contact with person, but of course people would say
Mhm.
that COVID-19 would live on surfaces. So that is something that may be a concern as well, because although you might be in a bubble where there is no contact with person, there might be a surface that someone touched, that you touched, that then could contaminate you, and then boom, you're out of your bubble.
Well, backtrack. The security, and I can see this from my room where I am because I have a balcony to see at the security. Every single thing that is coming to every person in here is sanitized, whatever they're using to sanitize. So whatever is said about, well, there's a possibility, everything there is a possibility. I'm not saying no, but I'm saying they have taken every precaution necessary. Um, and then come into my room. When I pick it up, I have spray sanitizer. I'm spraying sanitizing. I take the stuff out. I make sure I wash my hand what is out of the bag. Then I spray the stuff again. So I don't understand. Yes, we say it lives on surface and blah blah blah, but I am doing my part. I
Right.
see that the part, they have been doing their part. We're at my facility as well. So I'm still trying to figure out the bubble and contact at this point.
Right. Let me just bring everyone up to speed right here. And I'm seeing a lot of comments in the chat, and I'm not ignoring your comments. I'm reading all the comments, and I'm putting
Mhm.
it up on the screen as well. Here's the story, guys. Here's the story. So Andrea came from the US and came along into Grenada for the reason is not any one of our business, right? I see a lot of people saying, so why she had to travel and she know it's COVID, and no one knows the importance why she had to travel. And I'm not even going to ask her why she traveled. It's her goddamn business why she
Thank
traveled.
you.
So a lot of people that talking about that's null and void. All right. Obviously, she have business to take care of or something to take care of. That's why she go. Nobody asked anybody why they travel. That's their own business. All right. So she went down to Grenada to do whatever she needed to do. Right. She came down with a negative test. She did a number of tests before, but she came down with a negative test. Came in, she was in the bubble as what was created from the taxi into a hotel. She did the test Christmas Eve. And I want you to take it from there now. So you did the test
So,
on Christmas and all of this stuff. You was well in your bubble. The food that come to you gets sanitized and they spray it and all this other stuff. How difficult was it, or what's the procedure now finding out your results from the test?
so, I've been waiting patiently, because one, it is, the holidays. Secondly, it is the weekend. And so I gave room for error.
Right.
And it is now Monday. And so, I'm going into my 9th day. And so I just wanted to know what adjustments that I needed to make or mentally prepare myself beyond that. And so I started calling around because, no one knows anything. No one cannot give me the answer. The facility down out there calling and they said they're not answering the phones and stuff like that. And so I decided to take it up on myself and still reach out to the Ministry of Health and every avenue that I can get a number to reach them. And finally, I got a number that to contact the person that is overlooking the COVID testing. And you call them, you can't get an answer. You text them on WhatsApp, it's like they're reading the message, they're not answering the message either. And then so I decided, well, you're not answering me on WhatsApp or whatever, I'm going to call you straight. So I called you straight from my US line, so you answer now. This is foolishness. Here it gets better. I said, who I am. I'm just waiting the results of my test. This is when I've been tested. I just need to know so I can make the necessary adjustments. And he said, well, I will get back to you. Send me your name, email, and the facility that you are at. And I did all of that. And I didn't get a response for maybe about 3 hours in. And finally, I sent a message on WhatsApp again. No response. So I was like, okay, well, let me be a little bit patient. I got a phone call back from this individual, which is a guy that I spoke to. And he said that you came back positive. I said, excuse me? And he said, yeah, you came back positive. I said, well, it's not physically possible. But then, that's me over speaking because I was just like taken back by it. But then I said, then he said something that triggered me. He said, well, you came back positive in the cluster. I was like, the cluster? What cluster? We are rerunning your test now because this is frustrating for everybody.
Hold on. So let's stop there a little bit and backtrack. Couple things there. Couple things. I understand, and I think everyone understands, and I saw someone put it up there as well, that it's quite possible that you could come in with a negative PCR test and still be positive because nothing is 100%. And I understand.
Absolutely.
First.
Absolutely.
Secondly, this conversation is not about degrading the healthcare workers in Grenada, because let me put it like, I believe that the healthcare workers have done a freaking good job. They're working hard, right? And I understand sometimes, and I understand this, in a lot of cases, they're overworked. And it's very clear. They have a lot of work to do. Some people call me and they say, well, they didn't get tested today and they're supposed to get tested an hour ago. And I'm like, okay, just give them some time. And I understand it's a lot. We're not here degrading the healthcare workers. I'll be the first to give them a thumbs up because I know they work. I know the job that they do. The real thing that we're trying to identify here is what is the problem with the system and how we can make the system tighter.
Exactly.
The majority of calls that I got is about getting connection when you call that COVID hotline. And how
there's no response on that. There's no response.
What was your experience when you called and called and called? Because some people say they called to the extent where someone is picking up and hanging up, someone is just not answering at all, and they have all kind of bad experience. Tell us again about your experience when you try to contact that hotline.
I have called the hotline, texted the hotline, and have not received a single response to this day from when I expected my results. I had to call the ministry, the health ministry in the botanical gardens today, which gave me an alternative number to the person that I am now in contact with as of this morning, and that is limited. I am not saying that it's all about me. I am just saying the level of cohesiveness is just not there. People are saying, why travel? Why this? Why that? I am following all the protocols. I have not broken a protocol yet. I am just simply asking for an answer. And to get an answer today, you are tested positive in a cluster. We are trying to figure out who that individual is. That must make my jaws drop.
Yeah.
Again, we are in a government facility where we are supposed to be monitored. I have not been monitored for a single person. So who knows if I get a stroke in here and fall on dead? Who's monitoring me? Who knows what's going on with me if I don't make contact with the outside world, or who with my family and friends? You
Yeah.
know, I spoke to the owner of this facility today, and he was saying that this has been going on for so long that all the guests that are staying here after a while get frustrated. There's somebody, he said, that he was, talking to right before me that is visiting from Cuba, is the same scenario, and she is at her breaking point here where she felt like she just wants to leave, and if the police pick her up, they pick her up. I am not one to violate any rules or laws. I'm staying within. I can't go to jail because I like to eat when I eat, wait when I wait. This is not what this is about. Me. It's about the flaws that is happening with this entire process. And I just want just basic answers. So still, and they're rerunning my test. So there is no surety I am positive.
Right. So
There's
they said that they called you and told you that your test came back positive. No,
and I
because it's
and then
in
I
a
had questions.
cluster. It's in a cluster of people who came in negative. So they couldn't tell
I
you
mean, came in positive.
came in
A cluster of
positive.
people that came in.
Came in
Right.
positive, right. So they couldn't tell you, like, look through and identify this person is negative, this person is positive, this person is negative. So if one person in the cluster or in the group is positive, then everybody in the group is positive. Is that the idea that?
And that is my interpretation and takeaway. And when I started asking questions, I was dismissed. I got nothing beyond that. And so I'm back in my room, just sitting, waiting for another day, maybe that they would reach out to with me, or maybe I have to retake a test. And because they said they're rerunning it. Because now I'm thinking, well, this whole thing is contaminated. So at
Right.
this point, I'm expecting to get a new test. So I don't have any expectation at this point. I don't know if I'm getting retested. I don't know if my test has been redone, or I'm just at ground zero with this. I don't. Besides the information that I have as far as which direction it's going, whether I need to be quarantined for 14 days here, or whether there's a possibility, there's an error with doing the testing that I may potentially get a positive or negative test. I have no idea where this is going. I'm literally sitting here just awaiting a simple positive or negative response.
Okay. And I think people fail to understand and properly interpret what this young lady is saying. This young lady is on the program not to chastise the healthcare system. She is basically, or the people that work there, right? She is basically saying this. She was called today. She was called today and told that she is positive for COVID-19. Now, first of all, anyone getting any kind of news like this is enough to send you, like, drop you flat to the ground. I know for me, I don't know. I can't take them kind of thing on them. I have a very, very weak heart. I just fall along quick. Next thing you look for me, I'm flat on the ground. Right? Think about if when they give her that information, she just pass out. You have to be sure. You can't guess. You can't say like think about it. You can't say, yo, I think you might have it. Like you have to be sure before you give somebody the information. That is the bottom line. That is the bottom line. It's not about why she travel, if she travel, and I see people saying, all sorts of craziness, almost curse, all kind of craziness. That is not the fact. That is not the point. That's not what we're saying. She's saying that she was told today that based on a cluster, and first of all, cluster is being used all over the place this time. Because did you think for once that the cluster was meaning that there was a cluster of cases that was identified from by Sandals. That's what they're using as cluster. Do you think that they was talking about that cluster as well?
I wouldn't have thought anything of that sort because, I traveled a week after the fact and people have been tested and gotten the results from, sandals. So I didn't even put sandals in the category. So my thing is, well, is it from my flight? Is it from the flight before? The flights the week of? Is it the clusters that is in the public? Like, what cluster are we talking
What
about?
cluster? That is the question. What cluster? That is a word. Why would you even use a word like that?
I feel a lot of people need to understand what the definition of cluster in this virus means. We're taking cluster and we just running with the word cluster. What cluster? Please break it down because I understand it. You understand it. Though a lot of people, they really understand what they're really talking about. You're just taking everybody's test and putting it together and it's a cluster. What cluster are we talking about here? And just, trying to get a simple answer with this all, it's just like, I felt like I was asking too much because the way I was dismissed, I'm just flabbergasted at this. This is my home country. I expect very little. So if people coming on here commenting, thinking that I came down with a large expectation of this need to be this way because they said it, I gave room for error in every single thing. So 9 days is beyond error. Now we're going into another day. So basically, before me even calling, because if I did not call, I would not hear this, that you are treating me that I actually have the virus and I don't know I have the virus. So in this 14 days that because you can't go because it's $10,000 fine. I ain't giving the government that. And if it's 1 year in jail, I ain't doing that either. So you're sitting on here for 14 days. And then let me ask you this. If when 14 days is done, what are they going to do? Tell you still have to stay here?
Right.
Where
Rena, I want asking that question. A few people asking that question. How are you feeling? Do you have any symptoms?
I don't have a symptom. I'm waiting to see my nose running yet. I want to see a feed. I want a thermometer. But I don't feel no way. I'm hungry all the time. So they say, what they say with COVID? All these things I go down the list. I don't have one of them. What am I missing here?
So
and with that being said today, where they feel like it's a positive, send somebody out to me. This is since 10 o'clock this morning. Who come in and check me? Who has made an attempt to check me? I will pay St. Augustine to do an independent test at this point, just because I want clarity. Because I have done my part on the US side coming in here. I don't want to overburden the healthcare system. This is not about that. Because with this test, we still have to pay for it, don't we? So how are we overburdening the system?
Right. So you have no symptoms, you have no signs. Here's $1 million question. Yesterday, the government Ministry of Health announced that there was 12 additional cases. They reported 12 additional cases found. Do you know if you were included in that 12 number count? Are you?
Well, that's a great question. That's a great question because based on what they're saying with the testing that and how it is done, it's a possibility that my numbers could have been added to that number that they released to the public today. Because if they're saying to me, you have been, that means it's already been found. So now you have to retest me to get confirmation to clear that. So that means I'm in those numbers that they release.
Mm-hmm. And here's a funny thing. How many other people are out there in your position?
That's a great question.
How many other people are getting told that they have it, they're asymptomatic, they don't have any signs or symptoms of it, they don't even have a runny nose, but their numbers are being calculated into what is being deemed as the 45 or the 46, and the numbers keep going up and the numbers keep going down. What is really real? We don't know what.
That's my question. That is my forever question before I came here. When we went from two to whatever, then we come back down, maybe rising again. So I guess um, my main purpose for doing this is to shed light on what has been going on thus far. It is not for any other reason. I think most importantly, the Grenadian government have to be transparent with people, and there's a lot of cover up doing here. There's a lot of it happening here. There's no transparency and there's no honesty with this process. So what do you expect me to think as a traveler coming into the country with doing this, all these things before coming here? Done my part, I'm here. What do you expect the public to think? Because now I feel I don't want anybody to be brainwashed in any sort of way about my story or any other person's story. I'm just shedding light on what my process have been in this far.
Yeah.
And people need to have a balance in thinking and not think one-sided or one-tracted in this. It's too much misinformation at this point that's happening.
And the funny thing is, guys, I want everybody to just forget politics, forget affiliation, forget all of this kind of social media bullying type of things. That first we hear a story, and then because we might be affiliated with a certain political party and or a friend with a particular person, it makes that person or make that affiliation looks bad. So then you just defend it blindly, right? This is forget about that for now. Just look at that, right? Tell me if this is. Tell me what need to be fixed here, or if you think that this is good, this is fine, this should stay like this. Someone getting called and being told that they are part of a cluster of people that was tested, so you are positive. Just tell me if that is what needs to be fixed here, and that is what we're trying to put out there. Just look at it differently, guys. Just look at it differently. Something needs to be fixed here. You cannot just assume, or you cannot tell someone that they're positive unless you know for freaking sure.
Absolutely. So
bottom line.
I when they said, this, I say it's a holiday, anything goes in Grenada. We know that back in time, that is Grenada. But what are the procedures in place once you get tested? How is it transported? Where is it transported to? In the lab, and the process beyond that. Is it really tested the way it's supposed to be tested, where we are not being contaminated with each other? Because I'm trying to figure out where my cluster come in. So is there some type of contamination somewhere? That's maybe why I was in a cluster.
Yeah, that's a big question there. Let me take some calls because I know a lot of people have a lot of things to say, might have a lot of questions to ask as well. I'll give you guys the opportunity to do that right now. So I'm going to open up the phone lines to you guys. The number that I want you to call, if you want to call in right now, is right there on the screen. 718-701-5720. That's 718-701-5720. Call and ask your question. 718-701-5720. I want you guys to tell me. You might have a similar experience, or you might have a different experience. You might have an excellent experience, because I've spoken to people who didn't share the same experience as my friend Andrea here. Some people said that they went to quarantine and it was mwah, mwah, mwah. It was beautiful. They loved it. It was no problem. And that's good. That's great. That's what we want to see. Right? At the same time, oh, I didn't open up the phone line. Hold on, caller, 1 second. Yeah, caller, go right ahead. Hello? Hello?
Hi, Junior.
Hey, how you doing, caller?
Hi.
Yeah, hi. Where you calling us from?
Okay. Well, Grenada.
Okay.
Grenada.
Yes, go ahead, caller. Hello? Hello?
Yeah?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Hi. I'm just saying because I had some similar situations.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm listening. We're listening.
Yeah, I had a couple of similar situations here in Grenada.
Right.
Um, I was one of the ones that came down on the JetBlue flight, and they didn't test us until about 5 or 6 days after. And when they finally tested us and we got the results like 3 days after, I was already in quarantine for 7, 8 days.
Uh-huh.
I left the facility the morning. A few hours later, I got a call through the hotel telling me I needed to come back because even though I got my test results, which was negative, my husband didn't get his back.
Right.
From the time I prepared my paperwork to come to Grenada, it was always a single. Checked in as a single, arrived at the airport single, my paperwork is single, checked in at the hotel single. And then all of a sudden, I need to come back because my husband's test results didn't come back.
Oh,
I
wow.
refused to. And about 2 hours later, they called back and said, "Oh, that was an error. You didn't have a husband with you." My nieces checked in, their test was done, they clipped them together because they were in one room, same last name. One was released, the other one was told she could not go because her test went into a batch that one of the people in the batch tested positive. So
Right.
they're using this cluster and batch as words like they're just totally confusing everybody because they're confused themselves. There's a
Yeah.
lot of bullshit going on in Grenada right now. Nobody's holding the government accountable for it, and they just keep messing up. The Ministry of Health has no idea what they're doing. None. When you call the hotline, it belongs to people who give these cell phones. It's not an office. I called, a young lady's mother answered because the young lady wasn't there. So everything in Grenada right now is all totally screwed up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're not responding to anybody when you call them. So somebody needs to step in and hold them accountable for this stuff that's going on because they're messing with people's lives right now.
Yeah. Thank you, caller, for your input. Thank you for your input. And I'm hearing that quite a lot. And I'm
Call ended.
that's a big problem, especially where you have a situation that people are uh, not getting accurate information. And we understand. Listen, human errors. People, we make errors. We have to leave way for that. I understand that. I'm not going to say, well, everything is going to be perfect because even in the United States and England and Canada, they're making mistakes every day. We understand that. But you have to be very careful, meticulously careful in situations, especially when you're giving someone a result. Imagine someone come inside your doctor's office and say you're positive with HIV. That would just cause somebody to pass out. You have to be careful when you're giving people results. That's the bottom line. 718-701-5720. I'm opening up the phone lines again, guys. Call in right now. Let me know what you got to say on this topic. 718-701-5720. You want to share anything on what the caller just said here?
Sorry?
And yeah, you want to say anything based on what you heard the caller just spoke about here?
Everything is accurate so far. I don't know if she stayed at the facility where I am, but her story sounds very familiar from what I heard today after speaking to the owner of this facility that I am. And just as she has explained herself in detail, that's exactly what I heard today. So I'm wondering, is this the person that he's speaking of? Because she had a negative test, but they didn't have it because they also have to have the results in order to release somebody. And
Right.
so the ministry was getting ready to find him. And so they were saying that unless this particular person send it, you're not supposed to release it, even though she has a negative test. And so I find that interesting that she was the first caller with this very same situation that I heard today. So it like I said, it's so much flaws all across the board with communication and breakdown of this all. And people are not just coming out here complaining. It's just to shed some light of what's going on. The ministry needs to pull it together. Wherever there's a breakdown, try to fix the situation so that it doesn't become a constant problem. Because when it becomes a constant problem, then it's not going to be addressed. And all we're asking, all I'm particularly asking is, let's try and fix it. Let's try and fix it because we're looking bad as a country. Not just only to returning residents as myself, but to visitors because there are quite a few visitors in here that are complaining. So all I'm asking, and I hope the ministry is looking to fix the problem, at least try to fix the problem, at least try to work with us, try to be accommodating in some sense. For me personally, I don't have a kid in the world, so me sitting here is not a problem, but at some point it's going to get to my mental stability, me not knowing what the outcome of this could be beyond 14 days. 14 days, I don't want to be here, but I am here because that is part of entering. Another thing that I need to shed light on, also entering Grenada, on the form that we filled out. As a returning resident, the quarantine that you signed up for, which is 5 to 7 days, it seems like it's voided on this new piece of paper that you are now signing at the airport. So it went from 5 to 17 days up to 14 days. Not having the virus or just being here waiting or just until they clear you.
Right.
So it's not just about a false negative test or a positive or negative test. It's so many different things that are going on. And people need to understand really what's going on. And Mr. Steele, personally to you, if you and the Prime Minister have had this much time to work on this. No country is perfect. I come from a world where it is imperfect. I'm not expecting Grenada to be perfect, but I feel because the situation is much smaller and much contained that you have an ability to put structure in place to fix it. It is what we're asking here isn't hard to fix. It is really easy to fix if the right people are in the right places to do so.
Absolutely. Let's take this next call. We got our next call on the line. Caller, you're live. Where are you calling us from?
Good evening, Junior. I'm calling from the U.S.
Go right ahead, caller.
Yes, I didn't experience nothing in regards to the quarantine or so forth, but I'm just trying to make a little point out here.
Okay.
Now, there is a breakdown in communication. The system for the testing, it needs to be fixed. You can't treat somebody for a heart disease if they have kidneys. And all this is medical. I have to be very, very cautious.
Right.
I remember some time ago on your show, there was someone who came on the show that there was also in quarantine. He or she, I don't remember if it was a man or a woman, they were tested positive, and then the test result came back negative. How
Yes.
could that be?
Yeah.
Now, if you have people with a negative results, they're in quarantine, or you have some, and they're in there, and then you have somebody who was positive and the test came back negative. Remember, what's that going to do? They're on the outside there with a positive, but your system give them a negative.
Yeah.
So
it could be very dangerous. It could be very,
correct.
very dangerous.
You have to be, you have to be very, very
dangerous.
careful.
Yeah.
Things have to be put into place. And the people who are in quarantine, there are people too. They don't have leprosy or something like that.
True. True.
You have to treat them with respect. If they're trying to call you or whatever, they should have some kind of communication where it's 24/7.
Yeah.
So somebody can always be there to serve that person.
Yeah.
That's the system. They need to fix the system. It's broken. And my heart goes out to that young lady because it's not nice you're coming home to see your family, whatever you have to do. You have to spend Christmas, New Year's, and everything in quarantine. That is not nice at all. And the people who saying about traveling, whatever, everybody has their own ideas and business to take care of.
Yes.
So when you got to go, you got to go. And I guess passengers doing their end of getting all the documents that is required of them to travel, they did that. So when you get down there, the rest is on them. Everything that happens is their failure. And it is very, very sad. Grenada has to do better than that.
Right.
We have to do better than that as a country and to safeguard our people. Thank you, Junior, and God bless you, young lady. Take care.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I want to read. I want to
Bye-bye.
read a message that was sent to us today, and it's posted. The entire message email is posted on the Ride Along page. The person said on December 27th, my family member was informed by the hotel that they received the clearance and could leave the hotel and continue with his final destination after arranging transportation to Carriacou, which is extremely limited, with his suitcase in hand. On the following morning, the family member was told that his paperwork could not be located, and that that if he left, he would be charged and fined $10,000. And then he said, they went on to say that he has now been in quarantine for going on 10 days. So these are the type of things that that is not working. It's not working. It needs to be fixed. Absolutely need to be fixed now. The caller rightfully said the people and them that's in quarantine, then they don't have leprosy, they ain't dropped down from the moon, they're aliens, they're Grenadian, they're returning nationals, and they should be treated with a level of respect. And I hate when people jump on these stories and start to talk like, if well, where they go in, they should know better. It's quarantine. How could you tell someone that? You know what I mean? How could you tell someone that if someone have business to take care of, they have to go, right? They have to go, and it's sad. So I really hope that that especially that phone. I heard Minister Steele, on a previous program said that he knows. He did an interview on one of those radio programs. He said that he know that there are problems with the phone lines. He noticed it himself. He said that. So I think that the minister knowing that is the first step. But what are they doing to fix the problem? You know what I mean? Are they putting more people there to answer the phone? Are they, who are answering those calls? Who are calling people and giving them information that is incorrect? Who is doing that? That needs to be fixed. Crazy. Absolute madness. How long were you please, what's the email address? Yeah, how long were you planning? And that's another question I don't like to ask, but it basically, if you really cater to stay all this length of time, is going on 9 days. Did you cater to stay all this length of time there?
I made up my mind to spend 14 days because it's the wild, wild west in Grenada. That's what I made up my mind for. I had planned initially to be here for 3 weeks, with a lot of room for error. And you're eating into my era now. So I am trying to figure out, what is my outcome? I just want my outcome, so let me prepare and adjust myself for when I am out 14 days, 10 days, 9 days, what and when I'm getting out, what I have to do. Because I came down here on a one-way ticket for that reason.
Right.
And that's just being part of the preparedness. One of my friends back home was checking on me today, asking me if I'm out of quarantine. I said, no, I'm still here. And they're just like, you've got to be joking. I knew somebody came in Thursday and they're out already. I said, excuse me? Well, you need to send all these contacts to me. So let me know who are they in contact to so I can call them and maybe I can get out if that's how it's going down here. But you can't hold a certain group of people to an accountability to staying in quarantine and then the rest is not applied. I could have applied for home quarantine, but the way I saw this was worded 7 days before and we have to check it out and approve it. I was like, nah, it don't make no sense to do that. Let me go at what you say it's appropriate for me to quarantine.
Right.
And I still cannot get a great outcome out of this. I really wanted to walk away from this and say something good about, coming to Grenada on the COVID restrictions that we have in place. And, I can maybe encourage people that, when you go down there, this is what to be expected and stuff like that. But with so much breakdown happening, I'm lost for words as I'm going along this to tell people something positive at this point. I want to, I just can't at this point after today. I've been making fun of being cooped up and laying around so much and going to the fridge and, listening to music. I mean, making fun of but what am I supposed to do with all these things in place that, for instance, going to jail at the $10,000, who wants to do that? That's free money for the government for what? I'm not going to break that. I'm just not going to do that. But, what am I supposed to do in the space that I'm confined in? Luckily, the facility that I chose that, I have basically everything that I need, down to a washing machine and dryer. And so I was thinking about other places that I wanted to stay, and I was just like, you know what, it just doesn't make sense. Even though I was unfamiliar with this place, let me take my chances here with what I'm seeing so far, with possibility of me having to stay an extended period of time. And so I don't have words beyond this. I'm still trying to process today alone. I've had to process, all of it as I've gone along, and then today this, and then so I'm like, well, with this positive, we're going into 14 days now. And so I have to be retested, because if I come back positive, as they say, I'm positive already, I'm going to have to stay here and be retested in 5 to 7 days. I'm on day 9 already.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody please explain how this is right. This whole, we're monitoring the people in quarantine. Who is monitoring us? It's not like a nurse. I understand the healthcare system is, overburdened. But I'm not saying come every day, every other day. At least I've been here for 9 days. At least every 3 days, maybe. Somebody come and check my temperature. A welfare check on me. Nobody or all the other guests that are here. And when I tell you this place is full of Grenadians inside of here. So where are we wrong and what we expect?
Yeah.
So you tell us I have no expectations at all? This cannot be right.
Yeah. And I know that by being there, it's also costing you, because every day you would have to pay for the days that you're still at the facility. And that's another disappointment, because not everyone has the funds to do that. You probably able to do so, but not everybody. Some people cater to stay for 7 days, and then they've been told they're going on 9 days and 10 days, and then they have to stay another 3-4 days. A lot of people don't really have it like that to do that, and that's disappointing. Just fix it, please. All your fix the thing, please, pretty please. Fix the thing, please. If the system could only cater for a certain amount of people, just cater for this amount of people. Don't take more than what the system could take, and then everything done sackabo, as my grandmother does say. Take just the amount of people that the system could take, and don't overwhelm the phone system. People don't answer, and it's a disaster. I keep getting calls every day. I feel like now the Ministry of Health supposed to be paying, because I get calls every day, midnight, every freaking day. Seriously, I feel like I need to get a check, because I get calls all the way in New York from people who's going through this problem, and it happens every living day. All you fix it, please, pretty please. Because as long as they don't fix it, I'm coming back on here and I'm talking about it. I will talk about it again tomorrow. I'm talking about it now. I start talking about it. I continue to talk about it. And people go say, well, Junior, I can't talk about nothing else. No, I'm talking about it because I want them to fix the problem. That problem needs to be fixed. And that thing where you're calling people and telling them, oh, they have it or they don't have it. And in this case, they call and look at it. She had no symptoms. I'm not saying that you could be asymptomatic. I don't know.
I question all those things. Maybe I'm a carrier and I don't know, but I'm like, really? I have put so much things on the table, but give me a direction where I'm going. And I didn't get a direction where I'm going, and, like I said, not to, everybody's not financially prepared to go beyond a certain limit. What if I was a Grenadian citizen that was stuck abroad and is returning? and my family members have had to pull this money together for me to come through to get to the other side. Are there any considerations for that? There's a gentleman, I am on the second floor, I am, that when I sit on the balcony, I can talk to him across from me. And he was saying that he have a home here in Grenville, and he was not approved for home for quarantine, but his white friend did. Something is wrong.
Yeah. That's his story to tell, by the way. And he's free to share his story. But listen, I still want you to continue to check your temperature, because you could be asymptomatic, and you don't know. Because you don't have symptoms, that don't mean that you're out of the woods. But still, I would like for you, when is your next test schedule?
I have no idea if there is one.
Oh boy, that's sad. Ministry of Health, please call. And I know there's a backlog. And adding more pressure. I understand, I'm not being inhumane to the workers, But come on, I mean, get it in working, man.
But most importantly, I'm watching on my other device all the comments that are coming through, and the amazing thing is that the comments that people are posting, and I think that you're choosing a side with this because yes, you have a level of fear, and everybody should have a level of fear with this. But most importantly, my takeaway from this was I came back positive from a cluster, right? Whichever cluster this is, and we are trying to identify the person, but that does not say it is you. So everything is flawed right there.
Yeah. That is the biggest part of the problem. Who is it in the bulk, in the numbers, or in the cluster, as they call it, that actually have it? And would they know? Is it possible that they would know? I guess they would have to do another test. But what would prevent them from messing the next cluster? Is there some kind of contamination? Is there some kind of problem in the lab that is falsifying, or that
is it one person that is there overworked? What is it? These errors can be happening with something so severe as this virus that we know is airborne, and it's as contagious as it is. It is not to be taken lightly, and I'm not taking it lightly. I view my health as my wealth. So the level of ignorance that I hear at times, it's beyond me. Don't think for a second that I'm coming on here to complain. I'm complaining of what I heard today. It flabbergasted me. I'm not saying that it can't happen, but I would have rather you not tell me, or say with him telling me that we are rerunning the test, just say that maybe we don't have your results at that time. Just over speaking on that and me being in quarantine, I'm wondering, I don't even know if I'll get sleep tonight, just knowing that there's a possibility that I'm positive. No.
Yeah, I understand. Well, listen, Andrea, I thank you so much for even taking the time to come and chat with us. I know it's difficult, and I know you're gonna get bullied, and I feel it for you preemptively, because there are people that's gonna make it their life duty for the next day or two. But it only lasts for 2 days, by the way. It only lasts for 2 days. I get it all the time. It lasts for 2 days.
As they say, that is their business. They are able to talk.
I get it all the time. So let me tell you what to expect. You're gonna get chastised for 2 days. They're gonna say all kind of thing about you. They go say all kind of thing, dig up all kind of thing. They go put it out there, and then it goes away. And they go say you're trying to mess up the country and you don't love Grenada. It happens. It happens.
My own country.
So I'm telling you what to expect. But I think that if the key people are listening, which I think they are, they need to look into this problem that continued to show its ugly head. That mistake and false information and wrong information, and people being told that they are when they're not. Just tell them, listen, we don't have the results as yet. We cannot give you any kind of conclusive information at the point in time. You don't go to a doctor and the doctor
great choice of words.
Yeah, can you imagine the doctor say, "I think you may have cancer." Like, what do you mean think? Like, do I have it or do I not have it? Am I going to die or I'm not going to die? What are you talking about? Yeah, you have. I think you might have stage 4 cancer. Like, what the hell? You gotta be more accurate than that, especially when it have to do with things that involve life and death. This is not a joke. This is serious stuff. Andrea, I'll give you a chance to close off right here. We're a little bit over time. Go right ahead and the final words.
Thank you guys for listening or taking the time out of your schedule, busy life or not, to listen to my journey in this travel to Grenada. Thank you, Junior, for shedding some light on the issues that I've had so far, and hope that we can be in touch with each other, and I will keep you informed as we go, whether I'm cleared or not, and the outcome at the end.
Absolutely. Keep me up to date, and we'll keep the viewers up to date right here on Ride Along.
Hey. All right, have a pleasant night.
All right, you too. Yeah, guys, let me reiterate again, because people twist things. They're twistings. People do those things. This is not a referendum, or this is not a conclusion, or downgrading the nurses that works freaking hard every single day, overworked, testing people. I give them all the accolades. And if I could have given all of them a ham, I would have given all of them a ham for Christmas. All you know that? I would have given all of them, I would have given all the nurses and doctors and them a ham for Christmas. That's what I wanted to do. Initially, that's what I wanted to do first. You know, I'll still give them something for New Year's. But this is not bashing doctors and nurses. I know all you're working hard. I know all you're working real hard. The problem is the misinformation that has been translated, and the problem of not being there when that phone is ringing, when people have genuine questions, when people are scared to death, when people are they need to know, am I getting tested today, tomorrow, next 3 days, or whenever. Even if you have to answer and say yes, we come in next 2 days, at least they know. Not calling and nobody answering that phone. That is disappointing. All right. And Grenadians, returning nationals that travel from the US and Canada and England, that goes down, and they call me every waking day and complain. I have no other choice than to come here and talk about it. No other choice. If I don't post about it, if I don't post about this, if I don't talk about it, I will be neglecting the people that I'm here sworn to really represent, and that's you, right? Everyone have a story to tell. Now, there are people, man, from the time they see a story, they're quick to jump on some kind of political crap. Nobody talking politics here. COVID-19 don't know no political party, if you're red or you're green or you're yellow or whatever the case is. This is not the conversation to talk about politics. Everybody quick to defend this political party. This has nothing to do with politics. Absolutely nothing to do with politics, right? This have to do with where they obviously have a lapse or a loophole that needs to be fixed. And we've seen loopholes in the system already, because certain loopholes created the environment that shows right now the 40-something cases. Last night we was reported at 12. Tonight, we're probably going to get reports again of another cluster of positive tests, right? Loopholes caused this in the first damn place, right? Book up all your socks, pull up all your socks, and let us do the right thing, guys. We could do it, you know. And it don't take a lot of money. It just take compassion and dedication. That's all it is. Compassion and dedication, man. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is, man. That's all it is. That's all it is. Compassion and dedication. When the phone is ringing, answer it. If there is not enough people to answer the phone, hire some more people to answer the phone, man. Hire some more people. Outsource. When the phone rings, people want to hear something on the other end. People want to hear something on the other end. Fix it. Fix the damn thing, man. I'm fed up. Anyway, I ain't saying nothing again. If this ain't fixed, I come in and talk about it tomorrow again. And I post about it tomorrow again. Are you get fed up? But so what? So what? I get cussed out all kind of ways already. It's very impossible for I to get cussed out any other way than I have not been cussed out before. So if it ain't fixed, I'm talking about it again. Fix the phone lines. Fix it. Fix it. Fix it. Fix the damn thing. Mavis, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Guys, this program was brought to you with the kind compliments of Ridealong. Riders song. Riders songs. This is Riders, introducing Riders. Now available in stores, guys. There's a bunch of stores here in New York that's carrying the Riders headphones. We have the earbuds, like what I'm holding right here in my hands. And we also have the over-the-ear headphones. Get it. It's out there. If you have not yet gotten the Riders headphones, it's great for listening to. It's Bluetooth, and it's great for listening to music, talking on the phone. It's Bluetooth. It's also wired. This one is also wired. And these earbuds are very good. All right, so check it out at ridersong.com. There you go, ridersong.com. Get it, get it, get it. Inspired by Ridealong. Yeah, inspired by Ridealong Live. Inspired by you guys. Get it right now at ridersong.com. That's ridersong.com. Ridersong.com. Thanks again for watching, guys. Thanks again for supporting us.
You gotta be firm in this time, son.
Yeah, man, fix it. Fix it. Fix the damn thing.
Son,
Catch you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.
I will survive, and I'm a firm believer. Will forever shine, just to stay alive. That simple means it. Nobody can hold me apart. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can hold me sick. I will not allow negativity. Nobody can hold me apart. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can. Everybody, show me some strength. No weakness, show me a lion. Strength, no weakness, show them who we are. Strength, no weakness, show me a lion. Everybody, strength, no weakness, show them who we are.
Guys, this is a new addition to the Riders family. It's the brand new smartwatch and earbud. The smartwatch and earbud available right now on riders.com. In fact, it's out of stock, but you can put it on your wish list on the website. Go to ridersong.com and put this on your wish list, so as soon as you get back in stock, you're going to be notified. The brand new Riders earbud and smartwatch.
Put my trust in God. Put my trust in God. That simple means it. Nobody can hold me apart. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can hold me sick. I will not allow negativity. Nobody can hold me apart. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can. Nobody can. Yo, just show me some strength. No weakness. Show me a lion. Strength. No weakness. Show them who we are.
Are you looking for professional video production for your virtual event, weddings, funerals, you name it? Call the good folks at Ridealong Family. Yeah, Ridealong Family. Give them a call right now. Get your service stream live, right? Live to your family members. It's Ridealong Family. Ridealong Family. Check it out. Streaming for funerals, for virtual weddings. Yeah, virtual weddings, only 10 people are going to our wedding these days, and everybody want to be there. They could watch it. It's all live, multi-camera production, professional multi-camera production from Ridealong Family. Check it out right now. Call for more information, 718-701-5720.
Strength, no weakness, show me a lion. Everybody strength, no weakness, show them who we are.
Do you have a business and want to advertise on Ridealong Live? Yeah? Well, we got you covered. Remember, it costs absolutely nothing to advertise. It pays to advertise. It don't cost, it pays. Call Ridealong right now. Advertise your business, small or micro business or corporation, whatever, on Ridealong Live.
Strength. Strength. Strength.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
You want a hand sanitizer to do 3 things: kill germs, be gentle, and to go where you go. You can get all of that in our hand sanitizer. Hard on germs, gentle on hands, affordable. Remember, hand sanitizers contain alcohol. Keep away from heat and flames and avoid contact with eyes. Available at retailers island-wide.
You're constantly thinking of food, but sometimes you just don't want to cook or want something a little different. That's when you call Tasties, preparing meals that you really love. Tasties, our mouth-watering food, would have you coming back every day. But hold on, we only prepare meals Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for now. Call early because we have a lot to serve and we would love to serve you. Tasties, we prepare the meals you love to eat. From macaroni pie to baked chicken, provision dumpling and saltfish, stewed chicken, curry chicken, baked chicken, rice and peas, salads, and more. Please call for daily menu. Call 425-0624 or 403-0411. You can pick up your meals from us or we deliver to you. Tasties, food that's delicious.
Hey, I got some good news for you. Looking for a passionate immigration lawyer with experience that spans over 2 decades? Someone trusted that served immigrant families just like yours? Well, look no more. Now you can benefit from her personal and professional experience. Diane Winter Funde. Schedule a consultation now and get assistance with your immigration journey. Specialize in adjustment of status, B1 business visa, B2 visitors visa, consular processing, deportation defense, naturalization, and more. Give us a call today at 813-815-3529. That's 813-815-3529 or online at winterimmigration.com. Attorney Diane Winter Funde, law done differently.